I'm M. Carter Pierce, and this is the Daily Reel. I'm just disgusted. I'm thoroughly disgusted. Thoroughly. Once again, and we just talked about term limits yesterday. And once again, the old Democrat guard is leading the way to bend over for the Republican Party once again. How many times do you have to get beat down to learn that you don't bring knives to gunfights? And when you have the upper hand, you use it, because that's what your opponent would do. Your opponent is merciless. They don't care. They want what they want, and that's it. And they don't care who they hurt to get it. Chuck Shumer, 74 years old, is still playing by the old rules. Chuck, you need to do us a favor. It's time to retire. Because the Republican Party is forever changed now, thanks to Trump. It's forever changed. Trump and MAGA have polluted it, corrupted it, and virtually destroyed it. Any good that was in the Republican Party is pretty much gone now. Any ideas of fairness is gone. Trump has made it a street fight, plain and simple. And you're not getting that. And in turn, you're getting drubbed, and the people are getting screwed. It's not right. You can't continue to fight yesterday's war when you got a different army you're dealing with. Chuck Shumer is one problem. John Fetterman is a problem of another type, because he's a Republican in Democrat clothing. The people that voted John Fetterman into office did not want Trump and MAGA in there. They brought him in to defeat Mehmet Oz, who was running for Senate in Pennsylvania, which was a total farce because he lived in New Jersey. Didn't live in Pennsylvania. Sprawling mansion out there in New Jersey. But then again, who cares, right? Because the other senator from Pennsylvania really lives in Connecticut. Do you get where I'm going with this? But Fetterman is worse than that, because he's a turncoat towards the constituents that voted him in. We didn't want Trump and MAGA. We didn't want Mehmet Oz. So we voted for you. And look at what you've done. Look at what you've done. You go to Mar-a-Lago, you have dinner, and then you mimic and mime Republican talking points. What about the people that voted you in, John? He was the one since last week when he went to Mar-a-Lago. He said, go along with the Republicans and sign this bill. It's his constituents that are going to see the ACA subsidies disappear, and their insurance rates are going to double, triple, and maybe even quadruple, depending how big their families are. We didn't vote for that, John. Didn't vote for it. The game is afoot, everyone. The game is afoot, and it's time to do something about it. I'm running for Senate. I'm not a professional politician, but I'm not stupid. And my interests aren't about money. I don't want to be rich, because in my book, being rich leads to a whole cascade of other problems. I don't have fantasies of big houses. The house that I live in, I love my little house. It's just big enough for me. I don't need Mercedes-Benz motor cars. I don't like to pay full coverage insurance. I have a 2007 vehicle. It's paid for. And I pay liability. That's it. That's all I need. I don't drive that much anymore anyway. I'm 63 and not in the best of health. So a Mercedes doesn't do anything for me. I'm not a clothes hog, so I don't need $3,000 suits. I'm not. I'm just not for that. But a lot of Americans are, and especially those in politics. They want to have enrichment of millions of dollars. I don't need a yacht. I'm not traveling to Europe, and I don't need a beach house in European countries. I don't, and I sure as hell don't need a fucking spaceship. But that's what these guys want. So yeah, I'm an average American for average Americans who's running for Senate in 2028 to unseat John Fetterman. I want to get rid of him because he's not doing anything for the people of America. He's just not doing it, and he just doesn't get it. He sold his soul to an orange devil. Can't do it. Meanwhile, who suffers? We do. Some folks have already gotten their bills should the ACA subsidies get knocked out. From $513 a month to $1,400 a month. From $2,000 a year to $6,000 a year. Hell, I saw one family that their bill quadrupled. It went up by 4 times. And here's the bad part. Trump used food stamps as a cudgel, SNAP. He used it as a cudgel. What he wanted us to do is to start calling the Democrats and say, we want our food. Trump won't release it till you sign on to his bullshit. So just sign on to it so we can eat. And I'm sure there was some that actually did that. But the thing is, there's a bigger picture here. Oh yeah, you'll get your SNAP. But when somebody in your family, or maybe you, when your health care bill comes in and is tripled, what are you going to do then? Because let me tell you something. Donald Trump does not give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about Democrats. He doesn't give a fuck about Republicans. He doesn't give a fuck whether you're brown, black, red, yellow. He doesn't care. You know what he cares about? Himself and money. Oh, and he cares about the super wealthy white people. And you know why he does that? Because in order to get sway, to get the government protections they need to make as much money as they can, they will pay Donald Trump to do it. Vis-a-vis bribe, if you will. Donald Trump has destroyed economics and politics in this country. You gave a toddler the keys to Cape Canaveral and the nuclear codes. And now we're going to pay for it. He'll start with destroying us first. He's already messed with the rest of the world. And I don't know how this Supreme Court could ever say that he's immune from any official acts. So if he kills fishermen in international waters from another country, if he just bombs them with no evidence, that's not a criminal act that he should be processed for? You know what saves him? Is because we don't recognize the International Court of Justice. We don't have any treaties with them or the International Criminal Court. But I think we should. It would open up a lot of doors. And it would also keep people like Donald Trump from trying to kill the world. It's a mess. And we're paying for it. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.